Hello class, I'm working off of Screencast-O-Matic right now and using PowerPoint. And so it's something a little bit different we can talk about in class tomorrow, but we are beginning a new chapter, Chapter 3.1, Solving One-Step Equations. So addition property of equality. So here we have the algebraic equation of x minus a equals b, and it's called addition because I need to take the opposite operation to solve for x. My goal here is to get x alone. So if I take the opposite operation, which is x minus a, so it's a negative a, so I need to add a so that they cancel each other out, so that I am left with x equals b plus a. The property tells me whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So if I add a on the left side, I have to add a on the right side. So for example, here's the math example now. If I have x minus 12 equals 3, now mentally I could ask myself what number minus 12 would equal 3, and I could solve that, but I have to show work. So I'm going to add 12 on this side, add 12 on the right side. So those two cancel each other out. I'm left with x equals 15. Now if I were you, I'd plug it back in, even just mentally check it. 15 minus 12 does equal 3. Okay, so opposite operation to get rid of that. And remember, we're only working on one step today. So subtraction property of equality. We have x plus a equals b. So what do I need to do? I need to take the opposite and subtract it. So now I have x equals b minus a. So again, my goal is always to get the variable alone. So in a math problem, I have x plus 7 equals 4. Subtract 7. X equals negative 3. So plug it back in and check it. Negative 3 plus 7 does equal 4. So multiplication property of equality. We have x over a equals b. Again, my goal, get x alone. So this is division, x divided by a. So I'm going to multiply by a on both sides. That cancels that out. And I multiply b times a, so we know that x equals b times a. So if I have x over 4 equals 5, I can ask myself mentally what number divided by 4 would equal 5, but then I have to show work. Multiply by 4 on both sides, x equals 20. Plug it back in to check. 20 divided by 4 does equal 5. So division property of equality. A times x equals b. Divide by a to get rid of that, because we know any number divided by itself equals 1. So we're left with x equals b over a. Now it is very important, because I keep on telling you we need to get x alone, but it's very important when we get x alone that it is a positive x. No matter if we're using addition, subtraction, or multiplication, we always have to double check to make sure that our x, when it is alone, it is positive. So we have negative 6x equals 48. I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides because I'm doing the division property, because this is really saying negative 6 times x. So these two cross each other out, so it's x equals negative 8. So to check it again, negative 6 times negative 8 does equal 48. So multiplying by a reciprocal. You'll be given some problems Negative 2 over 7x equals 4. So we have this fraction, the coefficient, which is in front of the variable that we need to get alone. So what I'm going to do is multiply this by the reciprocal, or the inverse, which is negative 7 over 2. Now when I do that on the left side, remember I have to do it on this side as well. And remember 4 is over 1. So when I cross reduce here, we're left with just x. And then I multiply across here, or you can cross reduce here. And we know that 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. If you multiply it across without cross reducing, you get negative 28 over 2, which is negative 14. So double check, plug it back in to check your solution to your problem. Okay, a lot of properties, but just know a couple key things. We want to make sure we get our variable by itself, and then we take the opposite operation to get rid of that number. So here's a couple problems for you to work on. Y plus 7 equals 10. Number 2, Q minus 11 equals negative 5. Number 3, 24 equals negative 8n. And number 4, 9 equals, 9 equals negative 3 over 4m. So remember, on this video, it is good to always go back and review. Okay, what is the addition property? What did we talk about there? The subtraction property, the multiplication property, and the division property. And then what if I have a fraction in front of my x? What if my coefficient? Remember, the number that occurs before the x is the coefficient. We'll talk about that more at another time. But what if it is a fraction? We have to use the reciprocal to get rid of it. And our variable always has to be positive. And here's your problems to work on. Okay, opposite operation, check your work. You can use mental math to check your work. Just make sure that it makes sense. Okay? So I hope you have a wonderful night. Email me if you have any questions at all. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Take care.